YouTube, what's going on? Doing a quick video today on the Signet ring for the Spyderco Delica Wave. These guys also make it. Wiseman Company makes it for the Endura and Matriarch as well. I just picked this up from Blade HQ. They had these in stock the other day for about 30 bucks, and then the Delica itself was 70. So I've always kind of wanted a Wave Delica, and I thought this was made a lot cooler having a karambit style with that ring. All it does is replace the backspacer. So I'm going to do a quick video here for you guys showing you how to install it. All you're basically doing is replacing that backspacer. It does a little trickier than you think it might be, and that has a lot to do with the lock bar on the Delica. But I'll show you in the video how you install it, and then show you how well it works. You can set this up for a lot of different ways. I have it right now set up for either left hand carry cross draw or back pocket carry. It also works this way. So that's the way I have it set up. You can do it other, but let's go ahead and roll in that footage of how to install it. Alright, so the first part of it, installing this, is pretty self-explanatory. You need to take the knife apart, which is just used by a T7 and a T6 Torx driver. You get to this part, you can just kind of pop the liner off of the scale, and I just used a little small flat blade screwdriver for that. And then you're going to have this lock bar, which is your locking mechanism for the knife, that you kind of have to pop off, which is pretty easy. It doesn't take much pressure. Again, just a little small flat screwdriver. And then you're going to have these 3 pins. And this is the original backspacer. You punch those 3 pins out, again with your flat blade, and you're to this point here where you should just be able to line this up and push the pins through. Now the pins, I'm trying to keep the blade out of the way, so I'll cut myself, which is probably smart. The pins you just push through the other side here. So you're just going to have to line those up. I've got this nasty cut on my thumb, and it's making it really difficult to grab stuff. So just make sure these holes line up. In fact, what I would even do is push your pins through. You can take the blade off, obviously. These pins have to go through a certain way. As you can see, they have a flat end there. That needs to go through that way. So if you're having problems, probably why. This is pretty easy so far. Must have turned it, yep. Alright, there you go. Now we're just going to place the Signet ring, Wiseman Company, on those posts like that. Now it's a matter of reassembling the knife. Now, I watched a small video, or a short video, that the company did on installing it, and there was a certain way you had to do the lock bar. Now I know this piece has to go in there a certain way, but I think it's just like that. But we'll go ahead and stop the video here and come back to that part. Okay, this part's tricky, so I'm gonna put this in. So this is the way your lock bar has to go back in to your Delica. You can see here, it all makes sense. This is where this part locks into the blade. This is the part you press down to disengage the blade, right there. And then this part has to go into the Signet ring, and it has to go up. And you'll have to apply quite a bit of pressure to push it in there. I've already done it, obviously. It was easier to do off camera, but it's not hard. I mean, I did it with just my hands. I didn't have to do it any other way. So, okay. And then you just put. So what you have to do, it's kind of tricky, is you have to make sure all these pins that your Torx screws are going to go into are lined up. Now, they can you can see already, dang you, that they get unaligned. And if they're not lined up, this one was being a bear with the lock bar, but you can see this bottom one is not lined up. So you kind of have to work with the liners, make sure these are all flush on the back, and push it through. They can kind of come out of alignment because you're fighting the lock bar pressure. Now, you can kind of finagle them like that, and now we should be good. Yep, they're all in, they're all flush. Okay, so you kind of just have to use your screwdriver to finagle them. Now, I thought this was an easier way to install them than what the manufacturer of the ring suggested, but overall pretty easy process. You're gonna have a bunch of different screws. I kept all the pocket clip screws together, and then I'm gonna install the pivot screw first. Now this is a brand spanking new Delica, Wave Delica. I ordered it with the Signet ring from Blade HQ, and the pivot ones have a little washer right there. It's teeny. You gotta put that washer on before you put it. I'll tell you, that cut is just making things just not fun. So that's the T7. You'll know it's the washer. It's the pivot because it's the larger screw. It's the only one that takes the T7. The bugger is just being... Just hand tighten that down. You don't have to get too tight. And then you're going to do the body screws. And I believe they're all the same. That one actually looks to be a titch longer. And I think that is the lock bar one. Mine came without like any Loctite on. I mean, they have some blue on there, but not anything crazy. And they were easy to get off. They weren't on there too tight, so... Just tighten those. Put those all back together. Probably fast forward through this part. Alright, so I've got it all done now. Knife easily back together. I've got it set up for left-hand carry, cross draw. You can do it however you want to. You want to just make sure you utilize the wave feature to get the knife deployed quickly. I'll explain or do a demonstration here in a sec how it works. Doing crossbody, but again, you could flip the clip around and do it on the right side if you want kind of more traditional, but then you have to change your grip. The idea with crossbody is you're grabbing it like this. When it deploys, it's going to be in that position. As you can see here, it gives you a lot more handle. Makes the Delica have a lot more reach than a standard Delica. Let's compare it to my Carta Delica here. You can see here that you get quite a bit more handle with the Signet ring on there. It's made of a nice, really high quality aluminum. I guess they're going to be coming out with a G10 version, so maybe a little bit more. I don't know, this is going to be durable. It's just the finish will probably wear over time. There's the little company logo there. So, and they do also have these available for the Endura and for the Matriarch. Blade HQ only have them for the Delica. But what I like about this setup is that the Delica is such a good EDC knife, and even with the Signet ring, you still have a good size EDC blade, but you still have a good use for a defensive blade if you like to use karambits. So let's go ahead and do a little demonstration for you. So what I like to do is kind of pull out forward. There you go, there's your karambit. If you just try to pull up, it's not going to snag the wave very well, but if you pull kind of like out like this and out, there you go. So very quick, very fast. I mean, the wave feature has been proven by Emerson to be the fastest way to deploy a knife. Now again, if you wanted to set it for like rear pocket carry, you can just flip the pocket clip over, you know, have it draw so you're pulling out like that. It's another way you could do it. A lot of different ways, so you kind of have to just decide, you know, which works best for you. I like this way. I think that's pretty fast, quick, works well, and it carries in your left pocket versus your right. And you can carry another EDC blade in this side, so there you go. Alright guys, so that wraps up my video on the Wiseman Signet ring for the side of Spyderco Delica. Nice little instruction on how to install it. It was very easy to install. The video I watched, the only installation video I've seen is by the company, and it just had really kind of annoying music with it, and it didn't have any kind of voice, and the way they told you to kind of do the lock bar I thought was kind of funky. It's very easy to install everything all at once, like I showed you in the video. It works really well. Again, you can set it for crossbody, you can set it for back pocket, right hand, left hand carry. You got so many options with the Delica. These things are like 30 bucks, guys. You're looking at 100 bucks total with the Delica and the Signet ring, roughly. And you got a nice little karambit style knife there, especially if you already have a wave Delica. It will also work with a regular Delica. I wouldn't see the point necessarily, because you'd have to open it and then, you know, use your finger to open the thumb hole. So the wave one makes a lot more sense. Blade Screw sells the wave Delicas. You can get them on Amazon. They're about 70 bucks. VG10 steel, basically the same as a regular Delica, but you can, you know, you get the wave feature. Now, one thing I was thinking of doing to this, and I wonder, yeah, see, they've completely made the blade different. I was wondering, you probably could wave a regular Delica, but you can see they've added steel on this for the wave. I mean, you can see here, we're comparing the two, how much more extra steel there is up here for the wave. You could technically take a Dremel, but I would just buy the waved one, guys. And the nice thing is the blades will swap, so like if you wanted to put it in, if I wanted to put it in these micarta scales, I could put the waved one on there with those and with the Signet ring, and you know, you got all kinds of options there. So, alright guys, that's going to wrap up my video. Any questions or comments, leave them down below, and we'll see you on the next one.